distinguished guests, honorees, Consul General, Advisory Board members, and friends, I'm delighted on behalf of the UCD College of Business to welcome everybody here tonight to the 16th annual New York Benefit Dinner. I think it's fair to say that those on the North American board who were members 16 years ago probably didn't realise that it still becomes this dinner 16 years later. As Sean mentioned, UCD has UCD College Business is thriving, and we have a really ambitious agenda for the years ahead. The school has set the ambitious objective of creating the environment of a global top 50 business school in all that we do. And over the last year, we've made considerable progress along several dimensions of achieving this objective. We've opened new executive education facilities on the Smurfit campus, and that entailed an investment of nearly €6 million. We've opened a new centre for PhD studies in Smurfit. We've continued to invest in faculty. And sometimes people come to me and say, what really makes a school great? Or what do you have to do to make the school even stronger? And if you really boil it down, it comes down to two things: great students and great faculty. And you have to invest in acquiring both. So we've recruited heavily over the last couple of years in the school, and about 40% of the faculty of the school are with us less than 5 years. So a substantial recruitment of new people. And of those faculty, most are coming from outside Ireland. So the faculty base is approximately 50% Irish, 50% international at this point in time. And that's made a huge difference in terms of the internationalization of the perspective that we give to students in the classroom, and also has substantially strengthened our research activities. Now, I said that the second component of a great school are great students, and great students don't arrive by accident. And there are many people, as we know, who, for economic reasons, can't necessarily invest in their education the way they would like to. So it's very important as a school, in our view, that we support people as best possible through scholarshiping, because obviously obtaining a scholarship really can change somebody's lives. And through changing their lives, other people in turn are impacted as they go on to have impact in their career. Now, in the college, we really passionately believe that the best way to influence the future is to help create it. And that's really what we're about, helping to create a better future for people and for Ireland. And historically, if you look at the College of Business, the heart of the college resides in our undergraduate cohort. And we've about 2,000 undergraduate students studying with us across the various degree streams. Now, the BCom degree, and I know there are quite a few people in this room who would have studied in UCD and undertaken a BCom, it dates back to 1911. And recently I had the privilege of meeting the incoming BCom class, and that's the 108th BCom class to start with us in the school. And I was struck in meeting the new students on the very first day in the college that many of the people I was meeting would not be finishing their careers until possibly 2050 or 2060. And it's at moments like that you realise the responsibility you have as an educator, in that you're not simply educating people for a job a year or 2 or 3 down the road, but you're educating people for the rest of their careers, which certainly looking at longevity and so on, and looking at pension provision in many companies could mean that people are having to work for a long time yet. Now, since the first graduate came out of the BCom programme, who actually was a woman, Lillian Dygnan, it's quite an interesting factoid about the school that the very first person that we ever graduated was female. A total of 45,000 people have come through our undergraduate programmes. And if you think of the impact that cohort of 45,000 people has had on Ireland over the last century, it's truly immense. Not just in business, but also in politics and general social life of the state. And I think it's fair to say, and it's not too big a claim to make, that the Ireland we see today would not exist in its current form but for the BCom programme and the impact of that 45,000 people who have come through it over the last century. Now, history is good and it helps to build brands, But of course, the past doesn't necessarily mean you've any entitlement to the future. And the world doesn't stand still. And we all know that a lot has changed over the last decade, impacting both on business and also the wider world. And just to think of a number of factors that we're seeing changing the world before our eyes. Technology has fundamentally altered the way that we interact with each other and also the way that we learn. Careers are routinely global. There's a shift to Asia and to Africa as the economies in these regions develop. And also, people change over time, and the desires and expectations of Generation Z, the students that are currently studying with us, are distinctly different from those of the preceding generations, because Generation Z are the first generation that have grown up in a world that had the internet available from when they were born. So companies like Google, Amazon and so on actually predate people who are currently studying with us. And these changes in the world, of course, speak to education and the need to change what we do in UCD. The key project that we have underway in the school at the moment, which Sean briefly referred to, is the Centre for Future Learning. And that's generally supported by the Moore family and result in new cutting-edge facilities for 2,000 undergraduate students. Crucially, this facility is going to allow us to implement new technology-enabled learning environments which will promote the skills flexibility which our future graduates will need. Now, of course, we can't achieve this vision alone, and we're reaching out to all stakeholders to help co-create this future with us. Many people here tonight are long-standing friends of the school, and you've encouraged us and supported our ambitions for our students over the years. And on behalf of the school, and on behalf of our current and future students, I thank you for your support. And I hope that you will continue to support us as we take the next steps together. Now, I look forward to keeping you updated as the school's vision for a new undergraduate environment comes to fruition over the next 12 months. Now, changing tack and moving on to our first honoree of the evening, it's my privilege to introduce Helen Doody. In the School of Business, we strive to develop people's skills and capabilities to enable them to have meaningful impact as leaders in their chosen field and in society more generally. And Helen perfectly encapsulates both of these impacts to her career. Helen hails from Dublin, and she studied in UCD, graduating with a BCom degree in 1997. Following 10 years of career progression across a variety of market-facing and market trading positions in both Dublin and London, Helen and her family took the big decision to relocate to New York in 2006. Initially, Helen worked for Chilton Investments as a European equities trader, but in 2008, she set up her own firm, Celtic Advisors, a boutique broker-dealer. In 2010, she sold the business to Abbey Capital and was then appointed as CEO and Managing Director of Abbey Capital's US business. After 8 years with Abbey Capital, Helen joined Kepos Capital in January of this year as a senior client advisor. Kepos Capital has approximately $3 billion in assets under management, and it focuses on provision to clients of alternative investments, predominantly utilizing quantitative strategies. Now, apart from her clear business and career successes, Helen is a very strong believer in community and in giving back. She's a noted advocate of the arts and of educational opportunity, particularly for young girls. And she's an active supporter of multiple charities concerned with children's health. In conclusion, we have a short video which highlights some of Helen's achievement.